Hi guys, just gone midday here in London, Tuesday the 14th of May. Just have a quick look over the calendar for the rest of the session and a couple of charts, a couple of areas to keep us aware of. Just having a look at the calendar so far today, we've had some numbers out of the UK, relatively mixed to be honest. The unemployment was slightly better, which helped push the pound higher after drifting lower in the morning, but you can see the average earnings were slightly lower and the claimant count higher, which is obviously worse. So relatively mixed there. The numbers out of Germany and Europe, again, quite mixed. So data releases this morning not bringing too much new to the table. As the US starting to come into play now, the only real data points to be aware of that could potentially move price, but again, you'd want to see this wildly out of line would be the import and export prices, the month-on-month figures from April. That's coming out 1:30 UK time or 7:30 US. Also this evening, as usual, in the Tuesday slot, you've got the API inventories ahead of DOE tomorrow. Got a couple of speakers, Fed's George in the latter end of the session. But really the market today has just been, well, equity-wise, grinding higher following the down day that we had again yesterday here. I'm just having a look at the Nasdaq, and really the case for most of the stock markets that have been pushing higher. Probably worth having on this trend line from those lows, albeit you haven't got the free tests on all of them, but with this sort of reaction we've seen from really the close last night, any continuation, you would want that trend line to break, and then things could get interesting again. Here you can see it on the Dow Jones and the S&P as well. All of them pretty much right now at interesting levels. Can we get above the pivot for all three US equity markets will be key. We also had resistance around 3:30 UK time yesterday. A break above that and sentiment can start to change, and for the Nasdaq 74.55, for the Dow Jones 25,610, and the S&P 28.44, give or take a couple of points on all of those markets would be target areas that I'd be looking at, or potential resistance points where this continued move to the downside could also take place. Having a look at gold, yesterday we had a decent push higher above that 1290. It's been a fantastic level all year. The break above that, well, if we were to come back down and retest it either today, tomorrow or later this week, I'd be looking for a key test being right on that point. And can we find support for the final push higher, or is this all going to be a false breakout? And we look to test that double bottom again. So really key levels still to be aware of there for gold. The high of yesterday, pretty much the low that we had back on the 10th of April. So are we in a new range? That will be found out shortly. So if we were to come back here on gold, you can see trading now at 12.97. It would have to be a $7 move to get down back to that 12.90. We've also got the high of the 8 just above there, where we had a false breakout. So these two levels will be worth keeping an eye on for some potential support. Yesterday you can see how strongly that trend line worked. So if we were at any moment to get back under the 12.90, maybe dollar related or whatever the story may be, I'd still have this trend line on. At the moment we'll be coming in around 12.85 on the futures. So quick look over that calendar again, likely to be relatively quiet on the data front, other than looking at maybe oil later on and the import and export prices. A couple of speakers, but it'd be interesting to see what happens on the cash open with stocks. Are we going to continue this recovery, or are these pivot levels and the trend lines going to hold firm or break? Any questions as usual, please do let me know.